So Photoshop has now released Generative Fill. It's currently in Photoshop Beta 2023. It's insane. It allows you to do so much. Remove distracting objects, add objects to photos, expand photos, add clothing to models, add hair. It's insane. Let's jump in and I'll show you 3 really cool things that this new tool can do.
Okay, so we're just going to jump in and I'm going to drag in my first image. And what we're going to do is we're going to look to add an object here. Once you're in Photoshop 2023 beta, you'll notice that you've got this taskbar at the bottom, and this is the Generative Fill user interface. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to add a hot air balloon here. So I'm going to grab my lasso tool and I'm just going to draw a selection just around like that. That's where I want it to go. Once I've done that, you'll see we've got this user interface. So I'm going to click Generative Fill and I'm just going to type in hot air balloon and click generate. You'll be able to see now that we've got 3 options. That one's a little bit dark. Let's have a look at the rest. That one's okay. You can see that the light is coming from the correct direction, which is really interesting. And it is on this one as well. It's darker on this side. So you can click generate again or stick with it. I think I'm fine with this one. I would possibly remove that little bit at the top of there. But all I'm going to do is just hit enter and click off because I'm okay. And we've got this here. So let's go ahead and just add another one on this side, just so we can repeat that process. Generative Fill, hot air balloon, and click generate. And there we go. We've got some more options here. Very similar colors actually. And the light again is coming from the correct position. And I quite like that one actually. So I'm just gonna hit enter and click off. In fact, I may just get rid of the first one by disabling that layer. I think I prefer this one, but that's really, really cool just how quickly it's added those in. So we're going to get our next image now, which is this model. And now we're going to look at actually adding clothing to a model. So what I'm going to do first of all is get my lasso tool and I'm going to make a quick selection around this model in where I want a shirt to go. So you can see with my selection, I've been quite rough. I don't mind it going over the hand because the Photoshop may kind of deal with that. So what we want to do now is just click Generative Fill and let's type white shirt and then generate. Okay, now this is pretty cool. Let's zoom out and have a look at this. So this is our first option, which again, you can see it's actually cast in the shadow and you can see because the light is coming this way. So that's really cool. And this shadow on his arm, you can see that's kind of carried on up there, which is super cool. So let's click this one. That's also very good. The lighting down here works quite well. And let's click across there. That is also quite cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and actually I want to give this guy a bracelet. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to go just around here quite loosely and I'm going to say Generative Fill silver chain bracelet. Okay, now that's pretty cool. I like the shadows. Maybe it's a bit harsh. And that one's all right. And I think this one's my favorite. So I'm just going to click off. And let's zoom back out. So you can see that with these 2 layers now, we've come from this to this, which is, again, really, really cool. So the next and third part is we're going to actually look at removing things from images. So I've got 1 or 2 images to look at. I'm going to click and drag this one in and we've got a girl sitting on a well. But let's say, for example, we didn't want the girl there. So what we can do is just make a quick selection, quite rough, around this girl by here. And what we'll notice with this one is we actually don't have to write anything in the Generative Fill box. So you can see it pops up and I'm just going to click Generative Fill. And I'm going to leave it blank and I'm going to click generate just to see how Photoshop deals with that. What it should do is it should look at the rest of the image. Okay, and that is insane. Like I said, it's looked at the rest of the image to calculate what should be there. So we'll click through and basically you're getting different patterns really down here on the well. So let's just click back. I think this is my favorite. So I'm just going to go and it's just removed the girl, which is really insane. So let's give that a go on a different photo. Let's say you've taken a lovely shot, but we've got all of these distracting wires in there. So what we can do now is give this a go where we draw around each of these wires and see if we can remove all of the wires in one go. Let's give it a show. Okay, so now you can see I've taken some time to draw some masks around all of those areas, and I'm just going to click Generative Fill and click Generate to see how it copes with that. Okay, that is really cool. If we just click through to see the different variations, it's just completely vanished. I think my favorite version is this one, so I'm just going to click off. And if we do the before and after really, really fast, it's done a very good and believable job on removing that. So that is Generative Fill, and just 3 of the many things that Generative Fill can do for you in Photoshop. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave me a comment of what you want to see next, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Cheers.